very good morning. You're watching a new episode of Melt. I'm Ritvika Gupta shooting from home. This year in March, Google announced that it will be updating its privacy policy and confirmed its plans to make third party cookies obsolete by 2022. Cookies have come under fire from privacy campaigners for using consumer data for marketing purposes time and again. And this poses a new set of challenges for marketers in adjusting to the new way of digital advertising. So, is blockchain technology the answer to help marketers navigate this problem? That's the question we'll try to answer on Melt this week in a conversation with R. Gauthaman, CEO Achilles. Gauthaman joins us from Singapore today. Let's get ready to melt with R. Gauthaman.
Morning, Gauthaman.
Hi, Anand. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I hope all safe in Singapore.
All good. Can be better, but yes, better than many countries. So I'm thanking God for that.
Right. So now let's get down to business. The first time I spoke to you about blockchain, I kind of provoked you into saying that it was a solution in search of a problem, especially in the context of media and advertising.
That's right.
So what has changed since then? It's about a year and a bit since we spoke. So what has changed since then?
Yeah, so I think the problem presented itself, Anand, in some form. So I have to say that the deprecation of cookies is something which has given quite a few problems to solve, not one or two. So that's an advantage, I would say, when the entire industry is trying to re-architect itself. Here we are where there is a line in the sand. The industry is trying to go towards to solve some problems. And we believe blockchain or distributed ledger technology has a solution to fix some of those things. It might not be a silver bullet, but we have a bullet.
Okay, back to the conversation we had at Coimbatore.
Right.
I want you to explain for dummies, absolutely for somebody uninitiated. Imagine a CMO who knows nothing about technology, but is listening and watching this conversation. What does this? What is in practical terms? How will he know about the changes in the cookie policy, and then how will blockchain come in and help solve that problem?
Yeah, so let's put it in a very simple manner. Internet itself is a decentralized network of computers where assets are being displayed, and consumers go to those assets to read or engage or watch or entertain themselves. And advertisers chase them or track them or find them there to place their ads. Unlike a linear medium where we exactly know where they are, in a digital medium, we need some kind of a tracker to find them, right? And cookies were doing the job. It's some kind of a tracker which is there in the system. It is placed inside the web, and people use that to track that consumer. So that's the job cookies were doing. And good or bad, right or wrong, all this last decade when the ad spends increased in the digital platform, we started, or the advertisers started exploiting these cookies beyond what normally can happen. So the trackers went much beyond what the job is supposed to do, which meant that it is infringing on privacy of a consumer. So much so that personalization took a heavy toll on an individual's privacy. So regulatory forces is forcing the big tech companies to ensure that those trackers are not going to be present in the future. And it has to be consented so that the consumers can be tracked with the consent. So the cookies which were present in the web and anonymously placed and we were tracking it is going to go away. So what it means is that we need to have some kind of a deterministic tracker inside the web platform or ecosystem to find the consumer to personalize communication. So that's where the problem is. So we overdid personalization at the cost of privacy. Now there is a correction to it.
Right. So how does blockchain solve the problem, and who makes the investments in the solution to this problem?
Right. So when the cookies are being replaced by and deterministic identifier, which is what the world is now trying to do. One of the common things is that the big tech companies, each of them are now trying to do their own proprietary methods. For example, for the uninitiated, the ad tech people will know that Google has now decided to say, I'm not going to advertise or target consumers at an individual level. I'm going to use something called as cohorts, which is, and then say I'm going to talk only to a particular type of people, and they call it as federated learning of cohorts or flocks, as they call it, right? So every single platform is now trying to say, I will follow a similar methodology within my own garden. So Facebook will have their own custom audiences, TikTok will have their own cohorts. So all the gardens will say, I'm also going to become privacy compliant, and I will have my own cohorts or archetypes or groups to advertise. So we believe that more than 50% of advertising will now be cohort led and not individual tracking. Okay, this presents the marketers with a very unique problem where measurement of what's being done goes out of the window, which essentially means that we need to understand each of this garden and what happens inside those gardens, and then try to find a plan. Anand. So in television, we used to have those reach frequency curves, and we used to say that, no, okay, I'm going to cap at this particular time. I exactly know how many people are being reached. That is a challenge from a marketer's point of view, because each garden are not talking to each other. So blockchain or a distributed ledger technology in which we are working right now, and a product, which is why I'm able to talk about it in detail, is a distributed ledger provides the right encryption and a federated approach to taking data from the individual gardens and help the marketers create a media plan, to create a unified cross-media measurement. Okay, so at a fundamental level, 50% of the industry's measurement problems can be solved by blockchain. So to answer to your first question, is blockchain a solution looking for a problem? Here is the problem, that cross-media measurement is something we are now working to create a product that helps in the marketer to have an unified measurement. That's the first
So I'm going to interrupt here. So when you say cross-media measurement, okay, up to now, it's easy for me to understand how you're going to do measurement of the digital companies, the tech companies, and so on. Now, when you say cross-media, how will you get, for example, television measurement into this, out-of-home measurement, radio measurement, whatever it may be? So what do you mean by cross-media?
Yeah, a good question, Anand. So when we say cross-media, we at least most definitely want to include linear television to it. So what it means is that we will consider linear TV as just another garden like Google or Facebook or any other garden. So we can ingest data from all the platforms and provide for the first time truly TV plus digital measurement. I think that's what World Federation of Advertisers, or WFA, is very keen to put in place, because they realize that when the cookies deprecate, the biggest challenge for brands will be this measurement. And so WFA has globally rolled out a framework, and individual countries are supposed to pick it up and run it. We are working with one of such regions in bringing this to life, where TV plus digital measurement can become a reality soon. And I think our technology helps in doing. When I say blockchain technology helps in bringing it to life.
Imagine you're talking to a CMO in India, because India is a market you certainly know well.
Yep.
And now tell me how he will work. So he's got his media agency. He's got data coming from Facebook. He's got data coming from Google. He's got data coming from, say, Comscore. He's got all kinds of data.
Right.
How will that change once a blockchain solution is available? And who does he pay for this blockchain solution?
Yeah. So currently, no investments is being made on this cross-media measurement. All the measurement or the investments brands or agencies are making is only within a platform to know. Let's say within Facebook, there is an attribution study done within Facebook. within YouTube, within TikTok, within Snap. So, and all these investments are either sponsored or semi-sponsored by the platform themselves with the brands. So nobody is spending this money on this, Anand. So the real question you're asking is the challenge we have today, where who is going to really pay for this cross-media measurement? And the consensus right now is that if that is beneficial to the brands and to the platforms, we have to find a way in which the ultimate paymaster or the brands pay for this. And as long as it more than offsets the productivity that comes out of it, it should solve the challenge on it. If I were to stick my neck out, advertisers will benefit a lot by investing in this cross-media measurement. And we are not talking about one-off projects. It is like a continuous measurement across the platforms. It's like ratings, which we use for reach frequency planning. You will eventually have a reach frequency curve on which you can plan for TV plus digital. And this money needs to be invested in.
Again, let my cynicism on investments in measurement come. We're living in a country where hardly anybody wants to pay for measurement. And when they do, let's say the only demonstration of payment for measurement is in first in TAM, now in BARC.
Yep.
But even there are loads to increase the measurement. For example, BARC has been trying to do digital measurement, which means somebody has to pay for it. So what makes you optimistic that marketers or brands in India, at least, will be willing to increase their measurement budget?
Yeah, I think this is it is a challenge as much as in India, as much as in any developed markets as well. Whatever projects that's been done on cross media so far clearly indicates that the productivity far outweighs the investments that can be made on this. Okay? Primarily because we are trying to bring in all the necessary viewability parameters on the same page, because today when we compare a TVC, viewed or not viewed in some form, and the video on digital platform is viewed and measured on some other form. We are trying to find a common platform to do it. So the reason why I'm optimistic is that all the numbers we have evaluated so far outweighs the money that a brand can invest in this, and it gives good returns, particularly because when the cookies go away, there is no other way you can measure it as well. So here is an opportunity for the industry to correct itself, and it's presented on a platter. With or without blockchain, cross-media measurement has to be solved. And we believe the blockchain technology provides scale, speed, and efficiency in measuring it. And that is why I'm optimistic that this can be addressed.
Right. Now, you need you spoke of walled gardens earlier. You need the active cooperation of tech companies for you to be able to measure them.
That's
now,
right.
Right now, there is no active cooperation by Google or Facebook or Snap or TikTok or all these people. They protect their data. And so often we see 2 years down the line that they've been misrepresenting data. They themselves admit, they themselves have a study. Why will they cooperate with you and share data not with you, with an industry body or whatever?
The good news is at a fairly senior or a global level, these platforms have aligned themselves that should there be a compliant way in which the data can be extracted for analysis, they will collaborate. Okay,
right.
And that's been done with the advertisers in mind. So that's where WFA is playing an active role, and I mean it is there in the public domain for all to check as well. The platforms have come forward to say that yes, they will take necessary steps as long as the data that they're going to give it for this analysis is securely encrypted and all the bells and whistles on privacy is taken care of, which is where we believe blockchain technology helps in addressing those solutions. And the reason why I'm very confident is that we have just passed the test in bringing it to life in one of the regions. So there is acceptance to this approach.
Right. So do you have any ongoing long-term or at least a medium-term contract with somebody to demonstrate the application that it?
Yeah, I'm constrained to disclose.
Don't give me the name. Don't give me the name. That's not what I want.
Yeah. So we are working with a very leading global research company as their technology partner in bringing it to life. And very soon we should be trying to do a similar thing in more markets, and one of them is hopefully India.
Right. Now, in a pre-pandemic world, you would probably have come to India a few times,
Yep.
had a number of meetings, perhaps spoken at a conference or held your own workshop, and so on and so forth. In
Yep.
a post-pandemic, kind of Zoom world, how constrained are you in being able to convince people that this is a solution for a problem that they have? First, you have to tell them they have a problem.
Yep. Terribly constrained, and I will be lying if I don't say that. For a good part of the last, I mean, we launched this company amidst the pandemic. So, but initially, Zoom calls were sufficient enough to generate interest. We really thought that it's good because everybody is locked down, so we could access any market in the world to open up. Unlike the earlier conditions, perhaps I can only go and visit in a market and consider a market to open up, right? So so we could speak to any market in the world. So the opening doors or explaining it was very easy through Zoom. So we thought we're good, but I don't think we can close deals on Zoom. It requires physical meetings. It requires long discussions on back and forth on commercial requirements and a physical eye-to-eye contact, right? So that is definitely affecting us right now. I don't think you can close a deal on Zoom. That's our constraint right now.
Right now, we have been speaking, you and I, on blockchain and the application in advertising in India for a few years now.
Yeah.
Now, when do you think you and I will stop talking about blockchain and the context of media? Like we don't talk about TRPs. We don't talk about a lot of analog measurement. Now, tell me, when will we stop talking about blockchain as one, wonder solution?
Anand, so like the cross media measurement, I mean, there is another problem that has also come up, which is even more interesting and innovating in the marketplace. I think that will answer your question. So, apart from those situations where you are using cohorts or groups and therefore cross media measurement, whenever a brand or a publisher on both sides of the supply chain have their own first party data, which means that I know my consumer, I know my audience, I have my email address or the device IDs. They can target the consumers or retarget them on the supply chain in a deterministic manner because they know those consumers, right? Because they can be tracked as well. So we believe a good 10 to 15% of the industry will also try to do that, which essentially means that there's no need for cross media measurement. This is full attribution at a granular level, right? So in such situations as well, this technology is now coming to good and full use because privacy regulations talk about how the brands need to maintain their own consent of what they're doing with the data. And when they're activated, distributed ledger really helps in giving them a record of what's been done with the consumer. So they can always maintain the record to go back and say, I'm compliant for it, right? So that is a very good, in fact, that has got a bigger traction as much as cross-media measurement is. And so performance marketing clients, automobile clients, those who know the consumers very well are exploring these solutions in developed markets where it is possible to do. So the reason why I'm talking about this approach as well is that the blockchain technology is becoming ubiquitous for use. We're not going to say that, hey, I'm going to use blockchain. This technology is going to become a back-end enabler. Because even if you look at Trade Desk or any of the DSPs who now they talk about an unified ID, which they have offered to the solution, they have called out and said that they will need an independent, interoperable infrastructure to manage these ID solutions. And blockchain does the job. So you will not call out and go around telling everybody that, hey, I've got a blockchain solution running the identity management. It might just ubiquitously get into this. And so to your question, the line in the sand, deprecation of cookies opens more doors, and maybe 2 years down the line, let's say 23 beginning, same time, Q1 2023, we will not be talking about blockchain and its application in media, and probably we'll be looking at what are the other ways in which distributed ledger technology can innovate in marketing communications. But it is another year and a half down the line, not here and now.
Okay, fantastic, G-Man. As always, wonderful to talk to you. And I think we should increase the frequency of our conversations, because the pace of change is so frenetic. So maybe 6 months down the line, we will do a update of this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Anand. Yep.
And that was R. Gauthaman telling us how blockchain can help marketers navigate a cookieless world. He is presenting the Melt cheat sheet. A deterministic tracker will identify the consumer and personalize communication. Blockchain technology provides scale, speed, and efficiency in measurement. And that's a wrap on this episode of Melt. Do follow us on social media. Our handle is Ready to Melt, and stay updated with all that's happening in the world of advertising and marketing with our daily Melt update on our website readytomelt.com. And I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Goodbye.